Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Steve the Book Guy. If you don't already know me, that's cool. Not a lot of people do, but I am a whatnot bookseller. I'm a book collector. We specialize in rare books and all sorts of fun stuff. And we do a live show pretty frequently, almost daily, over on, like I said, over on Whatnot. And this is my first time doing anything like this, but as we do the shows and as we get to meet folks, they always tell me about like really rare stuff that I wouldn't have otherwise known. And today in my show, three or four different times it came up, and I've pulled out some different books and some different things that we talked about and some stuff going on about some rare books that I think we should all know that exist. Those, especially those of us who try to make sure the books don't hit the trash. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that do exactly that. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to do this all in one take. I do not have the time to edit or do any of that kind of stuff. I think it's really neat, and I want to have a place for all of this kind of like thought bubbles to end up. So I gotta get this done. But let's jump right over to the first one. The first one actually is going to be a book called Cyrano de Bergerac, and I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. One of the cool things is in my shows is that as we try to sell things that are not only that I think people that'll want, but things that I also want to learn about. And I found an old vintage paperback. It was this one. I just had it up. It was this one here, and we sold it in this morning's show. But sometimes we'll pull up the internet and we'll try to figure out what it's all about live. So apparently this is that story about a long-nosed man that had some struggles in the ladies department. And it's, so somebody in my chat, we brought up that storyline. And here's just another really cool copy. This is one by Anthony Burgess. Probably adapted it to a stage play. This is just a really neat art. What does it say there? That's cool. Anyway, but Roxanne with Steve Martin, right? And so we looked it up, and sure as all get out, the Roxanne was loosely based on this book here. And please confirm if that's true or not. That's what I was told. That's the conclusion we came to as we were kind of checking it all out. But I thought that was kind of neat that some of like the most pop culture books that we just have or movies rather, that we don't know that they've come from books. You see that in comics a lot, but like it was just kind of a neat moment to see it from a book. So let's go right to the next one here. This one here is a Dean Koontz book, Book of Counted Sorrows. Now, I am a Dean Koontz reader, huge fan. And by the way, we're on eBay right now. For those that I'm sure you guys probably recognize it. But one of the best places to get prices for things, because you can check by sold listings to see what when money is actually exchanged hands, because I could list anything for anything, and but it's nice to have like a comp, like you do that with real estate, right? You see what the other houses have sold in your neighborhood, that gives you kind of a comp of what your house is worth. That's how it works. Everything works like that, books especially. So I did not know this existed. This is a 2003 Dean Koontz signed first edition Book of Counted Sorrows. This is a sold price, $800. Now, I love Dean Koontz. Stephen King, of course, is a little bit more popular than Dean Koontz, but that's who he's often compared to. I think that's an unfair comparison, really. I think Dean Koontz has got his own vibe, and I love him. I loved the Odd series, for example, but I had absolutely no freaking idea that any of his books were worth almost $800. So it says here, the Book of Counted Sorrows is published in an edition of 1250, numbered 26 lettered copies. Each book is hand signed by Dean Koontz. And this particular book here is about halfway through the run at 463 with the signature. So if you did not know that existed, and the reason why I kind of wanted to point it out is because it's in a slipcase, but man, like that, it doesn't really stand out if you're looking on a shelf and it's just like black spines. Like, so you want to know that this exists because, like the price notwithstanding, there's only 1,200 of these that exist. And we want to make sure that none of them hit the trash. And and they could be sitting on someone's shelf for 20 years and they don't know what it is. And we got to make sure that it ends up where they're going to end up. So anyway, the last book is actually a book that I have found recently. It was on its way to being recycled, and I was able to kind of like circumvent its path to make sure that all the good stuff was not going to be recycled and got into readers' hands. But it's kind of a risque topic. It's probably not super appropriate for YouTube, so I won't totally like read it out loud. And when I show it to you, you'll understand why. But this is the book here. This is actually my copy of it. And I have it listed for that much. I was shocked. The introduction's here about Reverend Jesse Jackson. It's about sociology. It's and it's written 1972, and as you know, this late 60s especially, there was a lot going on. So, and this is really rare. I actually was pretty shocked, and I am open to correction, and I am happy to take offers on this. The reason why I thought over here on Amazon, there's none available, and the used, that this is where it's listed. And then if you guys don't know what Abe Books is, this is Abe Books, which is, again, and it's a place for like probably rarer books. You're not going to see a lot of John Grisham over here, I don't think. But the only copy that it has over here is actually, this isn't St. Louis. This is where I'm from Dunaway Books. Maybe I'll reach out to them. But they have theirs at $250, but theirs has some condition issues. Dust jacket is not price clip. Front flap is crudely creased. That's not great. So imagine if it was a rare comic and the cover was crudely creased. So is that the reason why this price is so low? So I just didn't know where to price it at. So this one here is the other one listed, and I don't know where this seller is, but it's at $175. So, but it doesn't have the dust jacket. So, and I this was my price before, but I was like, that's too much. I felt kind of bad, but I just don't want to leave any meat on the bone. But I also want to make sure that it gets to a place where it's appreciated. So please feel free to kick me some sort of crazy offer. I'll likely accept it. But it also would be nice to get a few things fixed around the house, But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I kind of wanted to show you, especially you guys who save the books, some bolos. Like, do not let this book hit the trash. And honestly, like, you should pick up any civil rights sociology related books from this time period. They are highly, highly collectible, and they're important, of course. Then Serrano over here is not necessarily a bolo, but that was just kind of a neat little story. Even though some of the copies, you know how it goes. Nice books are nice books. But of course, the Dean Koontz, and here's a few other ones that are sold. So there's some variants here. But these I don't think I have the slipcases, which is probably why they're not as much. So, but anyway, I'm Steve the Book Guy. We do a Whatnot show pretty often, and I'll probably at some point throw a link up in here. But I'm going to try to do these videos kind of low-key, see if people are interested. They'll probably be centered around kind of disability advocacy, book collecting, just kind of what my life is like in this kind of weird, what kind of thing that we've got going on. My wife is very disabled. She's had 8 brain surgeries. And so we decided to kind of take a step back and just kind of try to do an in-house bookstore thing. And that way I can stay home. I can help homeschool the kids, because we also still got to dodge, the disease that shall not be named and all that stuff. So we really like books, and that's what we're going to talk about a lot. And maybe we'll probably pull books off the shelf and we'll kind of flip through them. And that's kind of exactly what we do on the Whatnot show as well. So, but anyway, this is the first try. I hope somebody gets something out of this. If not, it was fun to make. And if nothing else, I can go back and rewatch this and be reminded that I need to find these books and not leave them on the shelf. So that's all I got. Thank you.